Welcome to the Air Force News statistics for the months of September and October. In these 2 months, we saw both great progress and decline, as many aspects improved, although overall we still lost a significant amount of members. Although in previous months I only tracked pilot statistics, starting in September, I also began tracking Airborne statistics, and with that we will begin with how Airborne did. Now overall, the member count of Airborne didn't change that much throughout the month, although they did experience an overall loss of members. As far as specific ranks go, however, they did see a very heavy decline in the amount of NCOs and senior NCOs. They gained 3 new officers, although 1 already left. Rank distribution shows a similar story, with them recently being pretty short in NCOs. As far as the gains and losses go, over both months, Airborne only gained about 25 members from 61 tryouts hosted, this being a lot lower than previous months, mainly due to the fact that Trasher isn't doing as much crazy recruitment as he used to do. Losses were pretty reasonable, as they only lost 31 members throughout September and October, but the main issue here is that a lot of these people leaving were active NCOs. As far as trainings go, despite the decreasing amount of NCOs, they still have a fairly high amount of trainings, at almost 300 logged for September and October. Moving on to the top hosts, Guess was the top host for both September and October. Now, although Airborne has been able to maintain a pretty high amount of events, I still do worry. If you look at the host distribution for September, you can see a very small number of hosts are still making up the majority of all the events, and moving into October you can see this is getting even worse. The reason that this isn't good is if any of these guys making up a 5th or a 3rd leave, then suddenly that's a 5th or a 3rd less trainings for the entire division. In general, you want the distribution to be spread across as many hosts as possible. That way, if any of them leave, it won't have a major impact on the event frequency. And with that, we'll move on to pilot. September and early October was very rough, with us even reaching 19 members at one point. Although the introduction of the Air Force basic training, as well as simplifying the flight school process, did lead to us gaining a significant amount of members. And if you zoom out, the only other time that we experienced this much growth in a short amount of time was right when school ended. Moving on to rank distribution, we also did have a significant loss of senior NCOs throughout September and October. We gained 4 officers similar to Airborne, although one of these sadly has already left. On top of this, due to Irish's changes to the officer cooldowns, we've begun actually filling the squadron command positions. Moving on to these graphs, you can see it's about the same story. I wouldn't say we're lacking NCOs in the same way that Airborne is, although it wouldn't hurt to have more since I plan on increasing recruitment soon. Speaking of recruitment, despite hosting over 2 times as many tryouts as Airborne, we still just barely gained a few more members than they did. If you look at this graph, it just shows how absurdly ineffective tryouts have become on Innsbruck, and this is why we started GRP recruitment. For losses, similar to Airborne, we didn't do too bad for September and October, although it could be better. In regards to event, similar story as to what I was talking about earlier. We have tons of people hosting events, but not enough people attending events. For top hosts, we had Max for September and me for October. Now in comparison to Airborne's host distribution, Pilots has actually continued its trend to get better month after month. It didn't change too much, but an improvement nonetheless. Moving past those, I want to bring up the promotion distribution as well. Although this is still far from a good state to be in, it is definitely an improvement. Pilots saw a lot more unique people promoting people over these past 2 months, and Airborne actually did even better. And again, this is still not good. I'd rather not be handing out 2/3 of all promotions for the entire Air Force, and this is why I added the promotion bot to make it easier to promote people. Next, we'll move on to the officer polls. I got an average rating of 9.25, Rust got an average rating of 5.4, and here are the rest of them. As is standard, active officers get voted higher, and inactive officers get voted lower. Moving on to general news, we had an Air Force inspection hosted in mid-September, which went pretty well. Unfortunately, officers Amon, Full, and Max all left the Air Force, although we did gain Promine, Fallfire, Guess, Low, and Decaminic as new officers. Additionally, Irish held a speech where he announced many planned changes to the structure of the group, the specifics of which I hope to have ready by the October inspection so I can announce it there, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's not ready in time. Speaking of the inspection though, there's another very big change that will be coming very soon to the Air Force that will be announced there, so I highly recommend attending. As far as our goals go, really I just want the Air Force to get ready for V6 in as many ways as possible. The thing I think the Air Force needs most before V6 launches is active NCOs and officers, and what a lot of these other divisions I don't think truly understand is a lot of them just think that their staff problem will be fixed when V6 launches. But the thing is that if V6 launches and you don't have any staff, well then how are people going to join your division and then become new staff? And that is why I've been so heavily pushing everyone into OCS, because frankly we need as many officers as we can get, Airborne especially. But to get OCS candidates in the first place, we need to have way better recruitment, and frankly Innsbruck does not have nearly enough people right now to support the true demands of the Air Force. Because of that, we have begun recruiting outside of Pickensbrook in places like the Group Recruiting Plaza, which although won't cure activity completely, at the very least it will provide a steady supply of enlist to host to as well as occasional OCS candidate. And so with that, keep trying to pass OCS if you fail, because we really need officers, and that is all.